This being is a guy that we know likes to promote fights, and he's been saying some things about you, calling you a cheater, things like that. Does that upset you? Does that bother you at all? How do you feel about that kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't care what he says. It doesn't matter to me. I know in my mind how I am and you know how I've been throughout the years, and you know I've never tested positive for anything. I think somebody told me in an interview on the way here that I've been tested more than anybody, and you know, according to USADA so far. So, you know, obviously, I have no problem with that. I'm the one guy that's probably been asking for this type of drug testing for probably 5 or 6 years before they started it. You know, because I came off of wrestling in the Olympic committee and Olympic teams that were subjected to this type of drug testing, and I think it's great to have no advance notice, and we could be tested at any time, and that alleviates all the guesswork on if I'm gonna, you know, who's cheating and who's not, you know, as long as they're getting tested here and there, you know. Some of the guys are rolling the dice and getting caught, but you know, I think it's great for the sport. It's great for the UFC. I would love for the whole sport to adopt USADA to do it as well, but yeah, I'm glad the UFC pulled the trigger and started doing it.
How does
When he
this?
says that stuff, he's just talking, just promoting, or do you think he actually means what he says?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I think he's a little bit naive about certain things, but you know, I was taking TRT when it was legal, and really wasn't taking much. I mean, that's why I think it's funny. I think his body's changed more since we've fought the first time than mine has. You know, like he looks a lot bigger and a lot different now than he did then, and I look about the same except for maybe a little grayer here and there. So, you know, I don't really. It doesn't matter to me what he thinks. You know, it matters to me what I know inside, and you know, I'm who I am based on what I've done and what I don't do, and you know, I'm completely content with who I am.
Since you've competed in both the Olympics and the UFC, how do the drug testing compare between
It's
the
the
two?
same. Yeah, it's honestly, I think it's USADA was doing some of the USADA and WADA both do the drug testing for the Olympics, and I think in the States was mostly USADA, so it was honestly identical.
You talked about goals that you've had, and the UFC belt obviously being the pinnacle of the goals. Are there any other goals that you set for yourself in the sport that you haven't accomplished yet?
No, not really. You know, I think it's been a long time since I've been undefeated, so that one went away a long time ago. But you know, honestly, no, there's no other goals that I've set for myself that I haven't achieved except for this one.
I was just curious, post-fight, you know, once you've retired and it doesn't matter anymore, do you think you'll return to using TRT? I mean, there's obviously some medical advantages.
Yeah, absolutely, probably. You know, that's what the doctors recommended for me for various reasons, and honestly, I wasn't barely taking any. I was just keep my body within normal limits, and you know, body felt a little better back then, but obviously, I'm still able to compete without it. I was competing before I started that, and for who knows how long. So yeah, it's probably definitely something I'll go back to.
And what do you foresee your training regime being after you've retired? I mean, are you going to hit the gym a few times a week still, or just take some time off?
It all depends on who I got coming up with fights that have fights coming up. So, you know, the more times my guys have fights coming up, the better shape I'll keep myself in. You know, I'm not planning on going every round with them, but one round on, one round off is a good goal to set, you know, with them. But, you know, I'll still be there for them to get them in shape, and they use them to keep in shape myself.